Hello and welcome back to Summoner's War. I'm your host LPO Tree. We got the pre-noticed monster balancing patch and improvements. So first we got the nerfs. Giana. This is the third skill, the AoE strip and stun. I think it's a 4-turn cooldown at max skill. This is the only strip that is guaranteed whatever debuff that happens with the monster. So most of them are like attack bar reduction. Ken, Ryu, Triton, Chiwu, they all have attack bar reductions after the strips. That has a resistance check. Eludia has the Light Phoenix, and Daphnis, they have a strip and then a resistance check for the defense breaks. Sekhmet and Okeanos, they have the strip and then the cooldown reduction. Those all have resistance checks afterwards. This is the only one that doesn't get the resistance check for the debuff. And then the short time that it did happen, they declared it a bug and then they fixed it because all the rich people that can afford a Giana complain. Molly, Light Mermaid, the passive. So if you've been under a rock for a long time, Light Mermaid's everywhere in every part of the game. And so they just reduced some of these amounts. I think mine is 16% healing. I don't remember if that's Guild Wars or Arena. 16k healing per turn. So now it's a 20% reduction. So instead of 16k, it's probably gonna be more like 14k. That's not exactly 20% reduction. It's more like including the artifact bonus. But much needed. Everyone wanted it because she's basically everywhere. And if you fight a Molly by itself, it could take you like 5 minutes with the full team. Vigor, Water Werewolf. Shred is the third skill, the one that does the multiple attacks and then the 3-turn defense break on a single target. Increases the max cooldown by 1. I think at max skill it's 3, so now it's going to be 4. That's also one of the unique things about Vigor anyway, is one of the few 2A monsters that require skill ups to be max effective aside from just damage. So you need the cooldowns, you need the skill ups for this one and a few other ones. Light Chun-Li, the one that does crazy amounts of damage for being faster. I guess they lowered that. Decreases the damage. Never had this problem. I brought a Leo every time. Usually this is in place of Lucian. And once you bring Leo anyway, the damage is like nothing. Light Artmaster, I don't care, I don't know anything about it, don't have Artmaster at all. But let's talk about the water one anyway, because it got new skills. Removes, when the enemies strip them, they also strip the debuffs, so they cleanse them. When they strip, they cleanse. I wonder if if something is stripped on one unit, then everything is cleansed on the other one? That's kind of weird. But no, I've never seen anyone use this, so I don't know anything about it. However, this thing is lowered. So one of the things I talked about last patch was it increased enough attack bar of your whole team, I'm pretty sure, by 25%. So if a Triton or Chiwu use its stripping ability, then it also has an attack bar reduction of like 15 or 20%. And since this is more, then it'll cut. Just like the Water Ryu cuts whenever that happens, whenever it gets hit. That was the key thing here. So now you can't use Water Artmaster on Arena Defense because when it gets stripped, you don't cut. And so therefore he's useless. Dragons. First skills on all of them, they now do something in particular to the dragon itself. So the water one, which is defense oriented, gets damage based on defense. The fire one gets more damage from harmful effects. When one by speed, has the speed lead. Light one by max HP. This is the one that has the highest base HP in the game. And Dark One, more damage. Everyone complains about the Dark One being trash. Light One, more damage. I always thought this was crazy amount of damage anyway. Pontos! The Light Poseidon. I'll say that later. Holy Ground. Grants invincibility immunity allies for 2 turns now. I don't know how this one's gonna work, but basically if the allies' harmful effects are removed, you get additional immunity based on how each harmful effect that is removed. So you move like 2 dots, then you get immunity for 4 turns. Something like that. Fairy Kings. Overwhelm, the second skill. This one is like 80% chance to reduce the cooldown of a skill by 1 turn, AoE. So now they get extra stuff. I mean, it's 70% chance. No, it's not 100%. Poseidon, I was wondering, I wanted to get a buff. I think the third skill is a little underwhelming by now. I thought it should ignore damage reduction effects. But instead, they buffed the second skill, and they do different things. Attack speed, Daphnis gets HP disturbed, and Dark One is an AoE strip. Oh, Bison, don't know too much about these, except for the fire one was 2 AoEs. But instead, they do... Okay, first skill probably, max HP. Passive, destroys more. I wonder how good this water one is. Third skill, but this is the second skill. Decrease attack bar is now decrease defense. I wonder if this is AoE also. So maybe these Bisons will be better. Great Sword of the End! Third skill probably. Set back all the enemy's target skills to max cooldown. Will be applied after removing the target's beneficial effects. I don't know much about them. The Ryus I do. So water and light will do more damage. Fire, wind, and dark. This is the second skill. Does 15% more damage. So these are the second skills of Fire, Wind, and Dark. More damage by 11. The Wind Ryu, this is the if then and then this and then that. Ooh, Logic Nightmare. This is the one where it has a chance to strip. If it strips, it has a chance to armor break. If it has a chance to armor break, then it can finish them off with the last hit. That's a weird thing. So it looks like if it stops somewhere in there, if it doesn't do one or the other, then you can do it again next turn. The combo's cooldown time does not, basically it resets, or it doesn't go down. Interesting. Water Chimera, Teyor. Third skill, Crush. This one freezes one target and then AoE attack bar reduction, so now it's 100%. It's okay. Poseidon's still probably better for this part. Same with Rad. I think they still need to pull away more from Sigmaris, which is what, AoE freeze? And then the second skill freezes. So they probably need to do more for poor Teor. Fire Valkyria, these are the ones I wanted buffs for. The fire one and the water one. They basically have Nat 3 first and second skills. First skill doesn't do anything, just some damage, unless it kills something. And then it does some more damage because it does a second skill, and the second skill is not much better than the first. So I thought fire and water needed buffs for those skills, but instead they did the fire one with this Warrior's Return. Is the added effect, if it's off cooldown, then the skill will be activated instantly when another ally takes damage that causes death. So it seems like potentially, if you get cleaved, if your whole team dies but the Fire Valkyria Vanessa is still alive, then they all come back. I'm thinking they all come back, or one comes back. One extra one comes back. So, either, I think it's going to be all of them that are going to come back. It might be kind of funny to watch. Water Archangel, this one needs a buff for years. They finally got the cleanse. So the third skill is the Holy Water. Removes all harmful effects. For each harmful effect removed, will get one, what do you call it? HP recovery effect buff. So it's kind of interesting. Like I think if it doesn't have any harmful effects, it doesn't get the, you know, little cross thing that heals over time. The recover HP effect. I don't know if that's gonna be useful. I think he's still kind of out of place. Just kind of an annoyance. Wind Archangel, I thought also need a buff. I think they both need that second skill to be a cleanse. Anyway, Archangel's Mercy, the one that revives, grants soul protection on yourself for 2 turns. That might be kind of interesting too. Basically, the only part that he was weak on was right after he res something, he'll be half health or less. So now he's soul protect, so he can heal easily the next turn. My guildmate uses Eladriel, Rakan, Wind Panda on Siege Defense and Guardian, and they get like 20 something wins and like 4 losses or something. Really strong team, but I don't know, I guess you have to put a lot of room quality on units that you don't really use anywhere else. I did use the Wind Archangel on Lab for the boss and for the bomb stages, but then I got Tyrannus. So that's how that goes. More Street Fighter units, Chun-Li's, more damage, more attack bar reduction. Looks like on all of them. On the Dhalsims, what is this crap? Gain extra turn if something happens. If you get a turn without being attacked, you'll get another turn instantly after attacking on your next turn. That's kind of weird. Alright. I wonder if this works if you violent proc. Because if you get another turn without getting attacked, a violent proc, you gain an extra turn after attacking on your next attack. Activate once per turn. So do you get an extra attack anyway if you violent proc? That's kind of weird. Kind of interesting to see that. If that works, then that'd be kind of cool. Otherwise, this is just more damage. If they have inability effects, higher chance to strip. I've become Priest Fire. Chloe. Chloe gets an added immunity for 1 turn. A lot of people like Chloe still, so I remember when she was 3-star. Brownie Magician, Wind, Unexpected Exposure, gain the turn instantly if you strip any beneficial effects. I think that 3rd skill is an AoE strip. I don't remember too much. I'm not going to build one. But you get an extra turn. So this could be another annoying Brownie Magician, ones that go crazy, like Orion basically. Turns for days, put them on violent. The Ninetail Foxes, these are more meme units. The light one, Chammy, she's always been that, oh, she's gonna be the next HOH. Gain a turn instantly. I don't even know what this does. This one's pretty cool because back in the day, I used the one that, the fire one, I think. I used that one as frontline tank for the Wind Rift Beast. And that was back in the day. Because that amount of healing from that skill that gives her more HP was enough to negate that shocking effect that the boss does. But I don't know too much about the water, wind, and light ones though. Never built them. Elven Rangers? I don't know. Entrap decreases attack bar to 0. Enemies that are stunned after the attack is now changed to stuns enemies who have less than 30% attack bar after the attack. I think this is a single target. I don't know. This is a 3-star. The dark one is a 4-star. Supporting fire increases damage by 54%, and then it gave him a dot. That's annoying. Is that one stage with the 2 Dark Rangers and the 2 Bears That Revenge and the Wind Monkey stage on TOAH Hell. That's gonna be super annoying now. That thing's gonna do crazy damage. I think they might nerf this again. Experiment, who cares? Anubis Fire 1 Kamoon is now a global 19 attack speed, and then the Light Anubis is global defense. That's interesting. I mean, the Fire Anubis Kamoon, you see him everywhere. You saw him on every like siege defense, the 4-star thing. But you might actually see him more on arena defense now. And some other stuff that happens that probably no one cares about. Fix an error when Wind Druid provoking all enemies after getting revived from dying due to a skill that ignores the death while having the endure effect. So I guess if the Water Death Knight uses its skill and then Raki kills the Wind Druid in that way, then he comes back somehow? I don't know, that's a weird thing to happen. The Water Ryu, fix an error. So I've seen this before. I didn't think it was that big a deal. I don't know if it's because of a single thing. Water Poseidon, this is what I was talking about before. Like when they named him, instead of the Water Sea Emperor, it's Water Poseidon. So Water Ryu, because the first instant it gets hit, the passive triggers, and it gets a full attack bar. So if you're fighting, I don't know if this is what they're talking about, but see, you had another Water Ryu, you had a Ken, where it has multiple attacks that each one of them has a chance to lower the attack bar. So instead of being 100, the next hit might bring it down, 10, so it might be 90% attack bar and then 80% attack bar. And there's something else that I remember seeing it where you hit it once and then the second hit reduced attack bar to 0, like the Wind Artmaster. So if the Wind Artmaster hits the Water Ryu, then the first thing will trigger the 100% attack bar, and then the other two will reduce the attack bar to 0. So I don't know if that cancels that effect, but I think that's what that means. And the rest are just weird. And there's nothing else. Okay, so anyway, that's the balance patch. So big nerfs to the ones that probably need it the most. Basically, Kamoon lost a couple speed in the Guild Wars and Siege defenses. Vigor, cooldown reduction. Molly had the healing and the glancing. I think the glancing was fine, but the healing should have been like the 15% and then keep the glancing the 20. I wonder if the... oh, that's a passive, so yeah. Let's see. Light Chun-Li nerf again. Dragon's okay, but nothing crazy. Only other crazy ones to really test is probably these Bisons, all the Street Fighter units again. Which is good because, I mean, the buff should have been a long time ago. It was actually like 2.5 months ago when we lost the Street Fighter packs. So at least they might be a little bit better. I can build this one, I can try it out. The rest of these I still think is kind of like, who cares? I mean, I don't know if you're just going to see him more on arena defense. But I don't know if you'll see these either. I might build that team and then see how that works for me anyway. So, what else are they missing? All the demons, it still suck. All the gargoyles still suck. My hidden name snipers are still pretty bad. I don't know what else I'm missing, but yeah. I think they could have done more. At least they did the Street Fighter thing, so now the Street Fighter will be relevant in RTA. And you always wish they do more. But they just looks like it's just, aside from the buffs, I mean the nerfs, it's usually 10 units that they pick. So I think this is the first buff, so 1, 2, I don't know if you call this one. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. I don't know if you call these, I don't know if I count these one-offs though, like this one and this one. So usually it's 10 plus or minus some of the ones that are necessary for them to buff, which would be TOAH, which would be these two. But the only bad part about this glancing thing, the biggest thing that Molly did was prevent the continuation of the Lucian meta in Arena, and that's why that was pretty important to have this glancing thing. And because you lowered it, I mean, people are just going to Lucian everything again, not care. So, I don't know, tell me what you think. Once again, thank you for watching. I am LP Tree. Have a good night, have a good day, and have a good bye.